Hello again. Today I'm going to do a review of the Exped Synmat Hyperlite sleeping pad. As you can see, the pack size is very small. It's not much bigger than a regular Coke can. It weighs 350 grams. It has an R value of 3.3 and that's rated down to -6 degrees Celsius. The sleeping pad comes in its own stuff sack. And inside the stuff sack you are supplied with a repair kit and instructions on how to use the mat. I'll get the pad set up and I'll go through some of the stats with you. The pad comes with one valve only. It has a one-way valve system, so the air goes in and then it's unable to be released until you either push it in with your fingers or they supply it with this little toggle which pushes inside the valve and that holds it open for when you want to deflate the pad. You can inflate the pad by blowing directly into it. However, I don't recommend blowing into any sleeping pad as you will get moisture in your pad and eventually that will turn to mould and then you'll lose some of the insulation value. Exped do supply a dry sack which doubles up as an inflating device. You do have to purchase this separate. Exped, in my opinion, should really supply one with these pads. But it's another money making scheme for them. So you connect the dry sack to the pad and then it's just a question of adding some air to the dry sack, sealing it up. There is a little strap here that you can place your foot on and then you push down. As you get to the bottom you just crunch up the bag and put some extra air in. This should inflate the pad in probably about 3 bagfuls of air. There's 2. Two and a little bit actually. That's not bad at all. And then you just remove the dry sack from the pad and the one-way valve seals it. But to permanently seal it, you just close the lid. The pad has 2 sides. The grey side goes to the bottom and the orange side is the side that you lay on. It's a mummy shape sleeping pad. This is the medium version which is 183 centimetres long. It is 7 centimetres thick. Across the shoulders it's 52 centimetres and at the foot end it's 35 centimetres. Exped also supply this mat in a medium wide version which is 65 centimetres across the shoulders, so you're getting an extra 13 centimetres, and the long and wide version gives you 13 centimetres extra width, but it also gives you an extra 15 or so centimetres on length. I think it's 197 centimetres long. The material is 20 denier polyester. It has a honeycomb embossing on the surface. There is a TPU polyether film laminate on top which makes it water repellent, and then inside there is 60 grams of Exped Loft microfiber insulation. That's what gives it its R value. Right, I'll now jump on the pad just to show you what it's like for its dimensions. So it's quite comfortable just to sit on. It seems like there isn't enough air pressure in it when you sit on it, but when you lie down all that balances out. I'll take off my shoes and it gives you a really comfortable night's sleep. Now because the pad is 7 centimetres thick, you are able to comfortably lay on your side without any of your hips or shoulders actually bottoming out on the floor. I'm a side sleeper most of the time, so that's why I chose this mat. Very comfortable. So one thing to bear in mind with this pad, as it's mummy shaped, it's quite narrow. So there isn't much room either side of you. So if you tend to move around a lot in your sleep, there is potential for you to roll off the pad. The two side baffles though are slightly raised, so this does help, hold you in place. So your shoulders tend not to fall off, but there's been a few times where I've moved a little bit and my feet come off the side. But that's the price I'm prepared to pay for such a lightweight sleeping pad. Although the material is very tough, I always recommend you put it onto top of a ground sheet and not directly on the ground. I've not had any problems with this deflating at all. It keeps full pressure all the way through the night. I've never had to add any air or anything like that, so there's no leaks. And I've used it in various different conditions. I've had it on top of snow, albeit on top of a ground sheet and inside my bivvy bag, but I felt no cold whatsoever. So the insulation value for this pad, for its pack size, is superb. In fact, Exped claim that the warmth to weight ratio for this pad is second to none. I'll just show you the seam, which is about 5 or 6 millimeters thick. So I've not noticed any issues at all. Also the valve, there are no issues whatsoever. I've got the odd little mark on it, but that's from water, bit of mud. But if you're out camping, things are going to get dirty. Packing the pad away is quite straightforward. You just open up the valve. As you can see, the pad will still not deflate. So you can either push this in, or you can use the little toggle, leave it in there, and then all the air can be pushed out. And then what I do, starting at the foot of the pad, is I just roll it up. And just push out as much air as possible. Then I remove the little toggle. And now you have a flat sleeping pad. I flip the pad over. And then starting at the shoulder end of the pad, I fold it into quarters, keeping it parallel along the baffles. Fold it once, fold it again, flip the pad over, and then from the foot end I simply roll the pad up. If it starts to bend a little bit, you just tuck it in. You'll find as you get near the end, you've got some air. So I just push my finger in the valve. This allows me to push out all of the air. I'll just fold that in a bit again and roll it up. As you can see, there's still a bit of air in there, so I'll just push the valve in and push out all of the air. and I put the cap on the valve, and that is the pad rolled up. Then it's just a question of putting it back in its stuff sack. If you want to, you don't need to put it in the stuff sack. Some people just like to keep them separate in the pack to save a few grams, but I always keep it in the sack. Shove it in. And that's it, the Exped Synmat Hyperlite. So I've had this pad about 6 months. Still pretty much as good as new, however I've used it many times. And it's never let me down in any weather condition. So I could highly recommend it. It's not the cheapest pad, but it's lightweight. It does what it says on the tin, so I've been down to -4 degrees in this and was plenty warm enough, so the rating's -6 degrees. So I don't doubt for 1 minute -6 degrees. This pad will take it no problem at all. So I hope you found this review helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.